What's up, everyone? Today we're going to be looking at the most popular heroes and AFK Companions according to the list on the app. You can find this by going to Heroes, Popularity, Popular Heroes, and we're going to do a guide on every single hero in the top 10 of this list. And then if people like it, we'll keep going. I think a lot of people don't fully understand what units do. They just kind of know that they exist and which ones are good and which ones are bad. And so we're going to go down the list and just kind of look at the general units, see what they're good at, see what they do as far as their skills. I'm going to try to make these videos somewhat brief so they're not super extensive, but helpful enough for you to understand where this unit can really thrive. So looking at Rowan, Rowan is a lightbearer unit, as I'm sure you know. He is an intelligence-based hero, meaning he will equip intelligence items. He is a support character, and then based on this little primary role category, which is kind of meaningless, he is a buffer. So if we look at his skills, so let's look at his ultimate first. His ultimate Dazzle is basically a energy recovery skill that also buffs attack rating for allies. It also can stun enemies who collect the coins that he throws out. So it is good to have him in a central location where a lot of units will receive the buffs and enemies will receive the debuffs or the stun. And so you can see as you level this up, it increases the energy recovery and it does that even further. And so Dazzle is a great ultimate. It is basically useful in most situations, but Rowan really thrives in parts of AFK Companions where you need a lot of energy. And so think potentially a guild boss, but also and probably primarily campaign towers, Lightbearer Tower, and even Forked Fates. Okay, next looking at his other ability, Rowan's Bird Axe, however you say that, will attack multiple enemies, dealing damage while also stealing their energies. So he is also a slight debuffer where he is kind of preventing the enemy units from using their abilities or their ultimates, which is kind of a nice thing to have. I wouldn't say this is something that's gonna like dramatically change anything, but it is something that can be really helpful with, with AFK Arena Companions, where in some instances the first set of units to get their ultimates off are gonna be the ones that win. And so being able to get your ultimate off before theirs by buffing yours and debuffing their energy can be really nice. Next, we're gonna look at his passive. So basically what his passive does is, we'll just kind of read it here, and he receives damage that exceeds 10% of his max health. He uses energy to completely offset the damage. So basically if he takes damage that is going to do more than 10% at once, he sacrifices energy. And as you can see, it also used no more than 80 energy. This is nice because as you level it up, you also recover more energy in battle. So even though you are sacrificing your energy to not die as quickly, you will be basically getting more energy as the battle goes on. And then you can see once you get to level 3, at level 321, which is pretty high at this point in Companions, it reduces the amount of energy that's consumed. And this is really nice because you can put Rowan in the front line and he will kind of act as like a tank basically. But then he will also act as a debuffer and buffer for your team. And so I like to put him in the front line in a lot of situations. I don't think he thrives as much in the back line because then this passive isn't really as beneficial. So putting him in the front line is definitely where you want to put him in a lot of situations. And then let's look at his healthy supplies. So after entering the battle, Rowan will set up a supply stall with 3 health potions when nearby allied heroes. Health falls below 50%. Potion will be used to restore their health. Each hero may use a potion once every 5 seconds. And then you can see as you level it up, all health potions after they've been consumed, Rowan will call in more supplies, and then it just increases the healing effect. So this is how he can kind of heal his allies. Rowan isn't like a super healer where he's just going to prevent anyone from dying all the time. His really bread and butter is the energy, but the healing is obviously a nice bonus to kind of keep people alive a little bit longer. And so, like I mentioned before, Rowan is a unit that is kind of a supporty, tanky guy. He's not tanky by nature, but because of his passive, he naturally will be tanky. And then he'll also be that energy buffer for your team. And so Rowan is basically usable everywhere that you can put him. You get a lot of free copies of him. He's easy to build out. He's just a unit that you're going to want on your team. There's a reason he's the most popular unit in the game. He can also be helpful in arena, all sorts of areas. So if you're thinking about building him or not sure if you want to build him, just go ahead and do it. You get a free skin. You know, that's enough in itself. And then you can just basically plop him in anywhere, and he's good to go. He thrives a lot more once he's built out, and so you don't want to put him at level 1 or with no building build up. You want to get him ascended as soon as possible, and that is when he'll really thrive. And then, you know, it goes even further once you get the 201, the 321, the 261, like he's really gonna kind of start popping off once you get those thresholds as well. And so he's a unit that I think everyone should have. Great support unit, not gonna do a ton of damage, but will kind of fit any role. Hopefully this is helpful, guys. I'm gonna keep making videos like this so you can kind of learn more about each character and know actually what they do specifically, and not just like, oh, they're a good character. Hopefully this is helpful. Hope you have a great day. Thanks for watching. Peace.